Hi parents, welcome to our Parent Q event. The purpose of our evening is to partner with you as we equip you by giving you resources and tools to help you parent your child as they go through the phases of their life. During our time tonight, we will have a brief introduction of parenting through the phases, and then we will be able to go to a link to join those conversations and answer any questions. So there will be a preschool link, elementary, middle school, and high school. So grab you something warm to drink, settle in. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started.
From the day your child is born to the day they graduate, you have 936 weeks. 936 weeks of soccer practice and homework, and teaching them to use deodorant. 936 weeks to instill values, to build character, and to prepare them to face the world. You want to be a great parent, and we're here to help with each moment of parenting gold. Driving your 4th grader to practice, saying goodbye to your 10th grader as he's walking out the door, eating tacos in the kitchen with your 7th grader, tucking your toddler in at night. These moments happen every week, and we want you to be aware of the time you have left, because when you are, you do more with the time you have now. We cue you with easy, just-in-time ideas of things to say, things to do, and things to think about to connect with the heart of your child. Our cues are grounded in God's big story, so your child can discover the power of faith in those everyday moments of life. Every cue fits the context of your child's developmental phase. We cue you when your high schooler won't leave their room, your middle schooler won't pick up their clothes, your 2-year-old won't stop talking. We help you understand these moments, and we help you connect. You only have 936 weeks. You can't afford to waste them. Parent Q. It's what we do.
Hey parents, thank you so much for just taking a few minutes to spend your evening with us. We hope that you have settled in. We hope that you are ready just to dig in for a few minutes to go a little bit deeper of how we can be intentional as parents. Our whole goal in family ministry is to partner with you, to help you and give you tools and resources to help you be more intentional at home and more connected to where God is at work. You know that you are the spiritual leader of your kids. God has given you the task and you the job to lead your kids to know Him and to make Him known. And as parents, that means that we need to be the ones that have critical conversations with our kids. This isn't our kids' teachers' jobs. This isn't their friends' jobs or other parents' jobs. It is our job as parents to have critical conversations with our kids, to help them understand God's plan and God's purpose for different things in this life that He has given us. So tonight, we're going to dig in for a minute. We're going to get a little bit uncomfortable because we're going to be talking about sexual integrity. And tonight, we just really want to encourage you and we want to challenge you to have conversations with your kids. From preschool to middle school and high school, all ages, there are conversations that you can be having so that you're not starting at 16 and having this awkward conversation, that you can start a conversation at preschool or elementary, or maybe you are in those older ages and you just never have had that conversation. We want to encourage you and challenge you to just build a safe spot in your home, create a safe space between you and your teenager, you and your elementary kid. And just be the one to encourage them and lead them and teach them, to help them know what to expect and help them know how to live out this life that God has called them to. So tonight, we're going to just dig in for a few minutes. We're going to look at some scripture. We're going to look at what God has to say. And then we're going to look even deeper into different phases where we can have conversations at all different ages that just are natural conversations to lead our kids. So just thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for setting some time aside to have the conversation, to maybe get a little uncomfortable, and just to be challenged and encouraged and equipped. Tonight, we want to give you resources of just ways and tools that you can use as you have those conversations, or even to use with your kids to just continue to build that relationship. So we're glad you're here tonight. We are so thankful that you have just spent a few minutes with us. And so let's have this conversation.
Do you know why we're here today?
For video?
We're going to talk about where babies come from.
So, today we're going to talk about how babies are made and where they come from.
Would you like to know how babies are made?
Made of water. Humans are made of water.
Yeah,
I knew it.
That's true.
From God.
From God?
I thought it was because of God that sent us down into your stomach to be born.
To be born?
Sperm, egg, collide, blah.
What do you mean, sperm, egg collide? Where did you learn that from?
Nick, duh.
Who's Nick?
My brother.
What did he tell you?
Bad stuff.
What makes me a man and what makes mom a woman?
You have bigger hands in her. There's some kind of hole here, like an igloo.
Oh, okay.
So when two people are in love,
Don't say that again.
Okay, no more love.
Parents, I have a confession, okay? The first time I was ever handed my brand new baby daughter, this is my first kid ever, it was great and it was awesome. But then after a few hours, they hand her again to you and they're like, it's time to change the diaper. I guess I just didn't think about that, having a new child. They're like, oh yeah, I'm going to have to change diapers. Now, look, for some of you, maybe you had babysitting jobs or whatever. I never did. I'd never changed a diaper in my life. And all of a sudden, they hand me this little girl. And I'll be honest, I didn't know what to do. And not only did I know what to do, I didn't know what the rules are or how you even clean a baby, let alone a baby girl. And so I was kind of scared. If a nurse would have said, hey, I'll change the diaper for $100, I would have just said, take my money. It made me uncomfortable. It was weird. And I know that sounds so stupid now as a dad. But in that moment, never doing it before, I was super uncomfortable. But here's the thing. I was her dad. And although this was going to be really uncomfortable as a dad changing this little baby and there was poop in it, and there's this girl and I didn't know what to do, I also know it's necessary. This is my daughter. This is my child. And I have to do this no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how awkward this was going to be for me. And so I did it because I want to be a good dad. Now, I'm not lying. I dry heaved through the first diaper in that hospital. I was making faces. People were like, what is wrong with this guy? And I was like, oh, it's so gross. And it was probably a little too much drama, the way I was acting. But it was. I wanted to throw up. It was so gross. And I'm just kind of patting with the baby wipe because I didn't know what to do. And a nurse kind of walked me through it. It was this weird, uncomfortable moment, but it was necessary. You have to do those things. This is part of being a parent. Now, after, 2 diapers, 3 diapers, 4 diapers, it got to the point after a couple weeks, no joke, because I'm just competitive with myself this way, I was timing myself. I was like a NASCAR pit crew. Throw that baby down, undo the diaper, toss it, powder, puff, wipe, clean, time. Oh, I was getting so good at it. I was competing. I would ask other dads, how fast can you change that? I got a quarter second on you. I can go like that. After I got through those stages of being uncomfortable and kind of weird as a new dad, I got used to it because it was necessary. It wasn't something I could just skip. And so there's a lot of things when it comes to parenting that they don't tell you about or you don't really think about. There's a lot of things that maybe for you it comes easy, but maybe other things aren't so easy. Maybe there's some things in parenting that you're going to go through in life that are going to be uncomfortable, going to be awkward. It's going to be just hard as a parent. It's not always easy. And those are things, though, you are going to do because it's necessary. Because you know for the health of your child, these things just have to take place, even the hard stuff. And so that's why we're all kind of here. You're checking out this Parent Q right now because you're a parent that You already know some things are going to be hard. Some things are going to be tough. Some things are going to be uncomfortable. Not everything's perfect and easy as a parent. That's why we're here. There's no way around this topic and this idea of sex and intimacy and boundaries. And as kids grow up learning about different things, what is our role in it as a parent? See, our culture is bombarding young people in a way never before. They have media, they have things in their hands, they have imagery, things that are just all focused at them, and it goes younger and younger in a way that's never been done before in the history of our world. But there is truth, and we have God's truth, and you're not doing it alone. You have a church family and other people that want to walk alongside as we look at how do we parent and guide our kids to have a healthy understanding of who they are, of boundaries in their life, of what intimacy looks like throughout those stages, as they get older. Because these things might be uncomfortable to start talking with some of our kids about, but it's necessary. It's necessary for you because you want what's best for them. And it's going to be necessary for them because we know it's healthier for them to know about these things. And so we understand that children grow in phases. Like the conversations you're going to have with the 2 or 3-year-old are not going to be the same conversations in any way that you're having with a 13-year-old or a 15-year-old. And that's why we have these idea of phases as students grow. In Proverbs 22:6, there's this great scripture verse where they're just telling parents, man, you have an opportunity to guide your children. In Proverbs 22:6, it says, start children off on the way they should go. And even when they were old, they will not turn from it. Now, your version may say something like train them. It may say something like guide them. It may say something like walk them. But all of the translations are all the same. You're bringing them along. They're going through in phases. And so you don't have to wait till they're 16 to have like some super weird, uncomfortable conversation about like where babies come from with your teenage boy while they sit there and squirm and you just want to get out of the room. It doesn't have to start right there. But let me tell you this, if you have never had any conversations, it can start right there. See, these phases can start when they're little. So you may be talking with a 3-year-old about privacy and about their body and about their body being theirs and the boundaries they have with other people. And those conversations will allow you to have more conversations as they get a little bit older about their growing and how their body changes as they grow, or maybe online boundaries that they have and why. See, as you're having these conversations, they're going to change a little bit. But as you're having those conversations, you're guiding them so that when they are 14, 15, 16, you're then continually able to talk to them about how they have ideas and respect for men and women, how they have respect for themselves, how they have more boundaries in godly relationships, how their dating relationships can honor God. And so these are continual conversations, and that's what we're here about, because it is about guiding. It is about training as they go. And we can have these conversations because it's necessary. Now, I know you may think, hey, I didn't have those conversations with my parents. Maybe I'll just kind of let them learn this stuff on their own. You can do that. You can avoid the uncomfortable conversations, but they're going to figure stuff out somewhere. And either they can figure out truth or they can figure out lies. And so in the same manner, you wouldn't say, hey, kids, go out and play in the backyard. Now, we know that there's some landmines out there, but they'll figure it out for themselves. Of course you wouldn't do that. You're going to send them out and you're going to explain to them the dangers and realities of what is true, what's false. You're going to help them understand what's a healthy way to view things and what's not a healthy. You're going to help them create safety boundaries for themselves in their life, and you're going to point them to Christ. And that's what we want to do when we're talking about these things. Now, just like that first diaper, those first few conversations are not always easy. They might actually be super uncomfortable. I'm a parent. I get that. But once you start having those conversations, they always get a little tricky, and they may be even a little bit more difficult the older they get. But as you've made it a natural part of who you are in your family and those communication and those conversations you're having, they're going to be available to you. And your students and your kids, they're going to know this is what we do and how we talk to each other. There's going to be a respect between them and you as you have those conversations. And so always be reminded that you are the number one influence in your student's life. You are the number one influence on how they view their world and how they view those around you. I want you to think about this verse in the book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 7. It says, in the same way, encourage young men, but our translation would be young people, young men and women. Encourage them to live wisely. And you yourself must be an example to them by doing good works of every kind. Let everything you do reflect the integrity and seriousness of your teaching. See, parents, you have that opportunity to reflect what is true. You have that opportunity to show them and to live this out in their life, to have those conversations, to do the things that may be uncomfortable but are necessary. And that's why we're here. And we want to walk alongside with you. We want to point people to God's word. We want to provide tools and opportunities for you to make those uncomfortable situations as easy as possible. So it doesn't matter if your kid is a preschooler and you're starting out those conversations, or today you're deciding, this is the time I start. I'm not going to allow my kid to walk through this stuff alone. And you may have some uncomfortable or tough conversations, awkward conversations, but things that are necessary with the kid, no matter how old or where they're at in their phase of their young life. And so thank you for being here. And we hope you can get as much out of the sessions as possible. We hope you can get as much out of this teaching and the tools we're helping to provide as possible, parents. We are here for you. We are better together. We can do more together. Thanks for being here.
All right, that was good stuff. Now we are going to jump into our phase breakouts. So we will have a breakout for our preschool, elementary school, middle school, and high school. And in these breakouts, we're just going to go deeper into what kind of conversations you can be having with each and every one of your kids at their phase that they are in. And so in the chat, you will find specific breakouts for preschool, elementary, middle school, and high school. So go click on those and you can jump into those Zoom meetings. And so if maybe you have a preschooler and a high schooler, you won't have to miss out on those because we will be recording. So just pick one that you want to jump in tonight, and then you can check out our FBC Blue Springs YouTube page and subscribe, and you'll be able to find the other phase breakouts that we did this evening. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for allowing us to partner with you.